Hi, everybody. All right, so you have some wind data, okay, some data, and you want to make a scatter plot to compare one thing to another, okay? Let's say maybe the number of blades in a windmill uh, compared to the output of the windmill to see, what effect does the number of blades have on the output of the wind turbine. Um, Another thing you could do is maybe pitch versus the output, something like that. Okay. Now, what I have here is a sample set of data, and this is from one group. Now, if we look at this, now first of all, it's a Google spreadsheet. That's what we're working on here. And this group was in period 1, so they have 1 for all their data. They were group number 3. They did 10 trials. And oh, it looks like they changed the number of blades in each trial. So they did one trial with 2 blades, another trial with 3, another trial with 4 blades on the turbine, another trial with 6 and 12. Oh, and it looks like they repeated that again to get a second set. All right, so they have 10 sets of data and they change. So this is the dependent variable. I'm sorry, the independent variable. This is the thing that they changed. It's independent of everything else. They changed it. The pitch is 30 degrees the whole time. This would be an example of a constant because they kept it the same throughout the entire process. And lastly, I have it in red to show that it was data that they collected. This would be the output, the voltage output. This is what the dependent variable is because the output is dependent on the number of blades. All right, so anyway, this is their data. Now, how do you make a scatter plot? How do you actually make something of this? How do you tell how the number of blades affected the output? Here's what you do, okay? First of all, in Google Spreadsheets, what you do is just click on a random cell somewhere else, so you're not highlighting any data in particular. Then you go up to where it says Insert Chart. It's usually this little group, this little logo sort of thing, or you could go up here to Insert Chart. Either one, doesn't matter. But you go to insert the chart, and the chart editor will be really weird the first time you look at it because you have to set up your data. Here's what you do. First thing you do is you have to pick the data. That's what the get data range is. So I click on it, and I'm just going to move it to the side so I can look at things. Now I want to graph 2 things against each other. I want to chart the independent variable versus the dependent variable. So the independent variable should go first. The thing that I changed should go first. So I'm going to click on the column for D, the D column. So I just click on D and I highlight this whole thing. So I'm going to graph the number of blades versus, I'm going to graph the number of blades versus the output. So what I do is I click add another range and I highlight the output. So what I'm doing is my x-axis will probably be the number of blades and my y-axis will be the output. It's actually pretty simple. So what I do is I hit OK. And up pops a weird chart. It's not a scatter plot. So here's what we do. We click on this tab here, which is Charts, and we click on Scatter because that's the type that we want. And we have to actually click on this. Ah, that looks a little bit better. Not so bad. It's a scatter plot. I don't know if it fits my data. I didn't really look at the data yet. I probably should. But let's say I did look at my data. That actually does look to be pretty good. Not bad. Now, there is something that we do need to do. Okay? Go back to, go to Customize. See, the problem is that the chart title says chart title. That's a horrible chart title. And left vertical axis title. We need to actually put something in there. Right? And that's where this Customize comes into play. So the first thing I'll do is change the title. I might want to say something along the lines of how does the number of blades affect because it's a verb, affect the output voltage. Okay, that's a pretty good one. And then I just click somewhere and it'll go up there. Not bad. Now the next important part, if you scroll down, go to the horizontal axis. Okay? And we want to change that title. We want to change that to, well, wait, what's down there? It's 0 to 12. Oh, that's the number of blades. So I do number of blades. Not bad. All right. Sounds good. Oh, but where's the left vertical one? Aha, that's here. Axis, left vertical. So I changed the title. What is that? Oh, that's the power output in volts. I always want to put my unit in there. Now I didn't for number of blades because it's just a number, but output unit in volts, that's what we want. Okay? And then I just click somewhere else and it updates it, and that actually looks pretty good. Okay, you can do some other things, like you can make the points different colors. I don't know, I kind of like orange. The point size could be smaller or bigger. I think 7 point is actually pretty good for this one. You could change where the grid lines are. It doesn't really matter for me. You could even change some things like the font and the background and all that, but don't change that too much. You want it to be readable. Okay? All right, so there is my scatter plot. I hit insert, and there you go. You have a scatter plot. Not bad. It looks good. So now you have to start reading the scatter plot. And what we see from this one, if we take a look, okay, oh, here's a tip. Click on it. If you ever want to change it, you just click on the chart, and over here is a little drop-down menu. And what you can do is you can hit Advanced Edit, and up pops the editor again. And then you update it, and it goes back in. The other thing that I like is that sometimes you have data all over the place, and you don't want this to interfere with the view. So what you do is you hit Move to Own Sheet. And then that goes to its own sheet. So as you see, on the one sheet in this spreadsheet, I've got my data, and in the other sheet, I've got the chart, which I don't think it's a chart. I really call it a graph. So I'm going to click on this little arrow and hit Rename, and I'm going to say Graph, and I'm going to say Blades versus Output. That way I remember what it is. Okay. And so now you have your data and your scatter plot. And now you can answer all the questions that you need to answer for your class. All right. Well, I hope you have a good time doing this. And if you have questions, you can either, why don't you drop a line on YouTube in the comments if you can. If not, send me an email if you're my student. And good luck.